Awkward side.
Whoa, so pretty. Gold and black. What? Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Bio, Damien. This is going to be a great show. I'm actually really excited about this. Not that I'm not always excited, but we have a lot to talk about today. So please tell your friends, if they're For Honor fans, to tune in now. Spread the word, if you will. There's a lot. So we should not waste time getting into it.
The framing is pretty old.
Framing is
it's kind of interesting.
So they
it's interesting.
see my
It's arty.
shoes.
It's arty framing, yes, and your
Anyway.
double keyboards. That's how Damien works.
Yeah.
He can only work if there are two keyboards in
What
front
was
of him.
that movie, Swordfish, where they
Yeah.
act with two keyboards, with two people on the same keyboard?
Damien's an elite hacker from the 90s.
I need one AZERTY and one QWERTY.
Actually,
That's why I'm
someday
super confused.
I'm going to tweet a picture. He has the worst keyboard at his desk. It's from like an Apple II. It's that yellowed. It's supposed to be white, but it's yellow because it's so old. Like a smoker lived. It's awful. I don't know why he has it. Anyway, I was saying we have a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's get into it. News first, and then we'll get into the seasonal stuff, and Roman will join us. So first, if you weren't aware, today, actually, I think going on right now, we might have even completed it. We're giving compensation for the outages that happened last week.
The plan outage.
Yes, it was a planned outage, but we thought because it was quite a bit longer than most of our planned maintenances, give people melee packs. So melee packs should be now granted to everyone affected by last week's outage. It's not everyone in the player base, everyone from the last 30 days of active play. So that's that. Promised people we would talk about AFK abuse.
Yes.
It's been on the rise for some reason.
Yeah.
I think because we're getting new players, which is kind of a good thing. But it's been on the rise, and we've seen your complaints. We don't like it either. So we're doing some things. So we thought we'd talk about that a bit.
Yeah, we were doing something since launch, to be honest.
Of course.
And we always do. So we do waves every week where we ban people or we stop them or we send them warnings.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we decided to change the plan.
Before you say the plan, because you gave me that segue, I have data. I have data. Since launch, we have applied 16,447 sanctions for people doing AFK. So the interesting thing is the way that our sanctions kind of roll out, 87% of that number received a warning. That's a first offense thing.
Yeah.
Second offense, 13% people got a temporary ban. And then after that, a third offense, the amount of people who continued after the temporary ban was very small, less than 1%.
Yeah.
So that told us some interesting things.
Yeah.
But go on.
So yeah, so change plans, we decided to lower the threshold. So basically to impact more players, more people doing AFK farming.
The threshold meaning if you're doing it,
Yeah.
if we either detect it or you're reported for it, we would have a set number we would wait for you to hit
Before acting, yeah.
before we would act. We've lowered that now.
Yeah, so now we think we'll reach more people doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first thing. And we decided to change the escalation, so basically the plan. So no more warning. As soon as you're caught, you're banned for 3 days.
3 days is the first offense.
So it's a temp ban, but at least you know what's... Don't risk it, basically.
Right. So the reasoning being, like
you
we
won't
just
have
said,
any warning.
we just said, like, we saw that the temp ban was actually really effective in stopping people.
Yeah.
So boom, we're going to start with the temp ban.
Right away. And then second offense, longer ban.
Yep.
And we're also thinking about maybe resetting your character account.
Yep.
Which is something we can do.
Yep.
We haven't done yet, but it's something we could use if we need to.
Yep.
Basically. And when I say lowering the threshold, this is true for PvP, but as well PvAI, which is one of the type of sessions that got the most AFK farmers.
Oh, yes.
And we will also catch the people doing it in private matches.
Yep.
One of the other things we will do is that at launch of Season 5, because this is a moment where always more people get in, etc., and this is one of the times where we see the AFK farming rise.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, we will have not only weekly waves of sanctions, mm-hmm. but we'll do that every 2 days.
Every 48 hours, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So yes, we think that'll be quite effective. We're obviously going to review that after a few weeks to make sure it is effective, if things need to be tweaked. And then there's much longer term things that I've seen his team and our other folks working on, which we can't talk about yet because it's far away, but this is something on the top of our minds all the time. So bless you, by the way.
There is something that was pointed out by in the chat, is that it's not an automatic ban. So it's not like everything done automatically.
Yes.
It's always human
beings
controlled. So we have someone in the team that it's not only his job, but part of his job is to do that.
So sad.
And so he's still checking the data, etc. before acting, so that we don't ban someone or act on someone that hasn't done anything. So
Cool.
it's something we always check, but we want to be a bit more proactive on that subject because people don't like it, and we think it's.
There's nothing more annoying than going into like Dominion and one of your partners is just farting
not
around.
playing and
Yep. So we'll give you more updates as that progresses, but hopefully that is interesting to you if you've been affected by that.
And tell us what you think about it.
Yeah.
Of course, if you think it's better, worse, if you think it's more active, if you see less people doing it, please.
Cool. So there's something cool happening this week before we're still not in the season 5 stuff yet. There's a game mode event. If you want to toss it up there, Maximum. Hey, we're doing Realistic Tribute.
Woohoo!
This is our first time doing Realistic Tribute.
I think so.
Yeah,
We've done Dominion and Elimination
Before,
Yep.
but never Realistic Tribute. And for Realistic Tribute, we changes some of the rules of the Realistic.
Oh,
So, and it's cool because it's not written. So I need to.
I'm glad you're here. I didn't know that.
So I need to say it without making any mistake, if I remember well. So of course, no fight widget. Only one revive, like elimination.
Okay. No radar.
No radar, and no revenge. And that's new.
Oh, damn.
So in Realistic Tribute, you don't have any revenge. So it's making the group fights really harder.
Yeah.
But it's making the whole thing more interesting as well in that specific mode. So yeah.
No revenge is pretty realistic. There's so
And of
many
course,
people
no
I want to get
stats.
revenge on that I've never been able to in my life. Just got sad.
Really?
No, I'm not a grudge holder. I don't.
Do you run fast?
I am a real life Sonic.
You're a
the
back
Hedgehog.
dodger.
So yeah,
Cool.
and no stats as well, of course. And I think that is it.
Yep.
I maybe have made some mistakes. So if somebody can check and say it in the chat.
Amazing.
But if my memory is well, that's what we did on the Realistic Tribute.
And if you made a mistake, someday we'll do Damien's version of Realistic Tribute. So that runs until February 1st at 8 a.m. So it's a full week, like we did for, well, we did it for Dance of Death, and then we extended Dance of Death. So full week.
And I need to say something. Normally, this week, I don't know if it's in the run of the show, but I want to say it anywhere. Normally, this week, we should have a community order, but we don't.
Right.
This is this is for pure technical reason. Anyway, so we couldn't push the community order, so we'll postpone it to next week.
Okay.
So
Good update. That was not.
So you won't have your 2000 still this week. Sorry about that. You can still play Realistic Tribute, and it's postponed to next week.
Cool. Okay, so when we have BO on, we usually do a whole section about the Faction War update. We have a ton of Season 5 Faction War to talk about, but while you're here, I don't know why. I don't know, guys. I don't know. While you're here, we thought we would do an update on wrapping up Season 4.
Yeah. Well, anyway, very quickly because
Very
last
quickly, because
time
we already know who won.
we already won.
Yes.
The Vikings already won.
That's
It was a landslide again. We won 4 campaigns
4 out of the
of
5.
the season.
You know how many the Samurai won?
0?
0.
Yeah.
0.
I'm
Zero.
so sad.
With
Zero.
leaders like this,
I'm so
no
sad.
wonder.
I'm so sad.
That's very harsh.
I
That's
know.
very
Maybe
harsh.
that's because of Dragon Ball Fighter Z coming out.
I also play Dragon Ball, it's not an excuse.
Yeah.
Vikings also like it. So yeah, as I said last time, good play from Vikings. There's everything I said last time was still true.
Yes.
but we saw a dip in engagement as soon as the Viking won.
Yeah.
Some people threw the towel.
People gave up.
Yeah, they gave up. But it was a great campaign and great season overall. It was interesting to see how
Yeah.
people behave with now showing all the delta on the faction war map, and how it changed the attitude of players. We saw way less automatic deployment, so that was great. It really was interesting in terms of data, and we're going to continue on that later.
Yes, in
So
only a
you
few minutes.
know what I hope now? I hope that people, I think maybe new players, maybe not everyone, but some people think that they need to become Viking to win.
Right.
No, don't.
And so that everybody switch to Viking, and then they lower the Viking
Yes.
success,
Don't.
and then Samurai rise again.
Don't do that.
That's the only thing I hope.
We're going to repeat again.
So along with the wrap up of the
Don't.
season come rewards. So our friend Max over here put together a video to show you the rewards that all of you get, not just the Vikings. So let's roll that right now. And we're back. Max said we're back about 5 seconds ago, but now we're back. One note that we had, yeah.
Very, because I got people telling me that on Twitter.
Oh, really?
So
Already?
We verified it. And yes, it's true. There is a bug. There is a bug on the faction war symbol. When I think it's only when you apply it on the emblem, but I'm not sure. It's making a red square instead of showing the symbol. We checked, it's fixed on our end, but I don't think we will push it before next season because the next patch is next season anyway. So it should be fixed at the start of next season.
So that's the symbol that you
Sorry
get.
about that.
It's so sad, the nice little Wolverine. So pretty.
Yeah,
We'll fix it.
yeah.
We'll
I like
fix
his
it.
nose.
Yeah.
Hey, you
Sorry
know
about
what's
that.
awesome? That I saw people were very excited about. Right now we have a discount going on executions.
Executions, yeah.
So all of the 7,000 steel executions are now 5,000 steel, which is a pretty good deal.
Pretty, yeah.
And that runs through the 29th at 8 a.m. So go buy some executions if you've been holding up, waiting for that.
You know what I like on the picture we saw?
The Kensei.
We saw the Kensei twice.
Twice?
I like that.
Twice?
Twice.
Put it back up, Max. Twice?
Look at that.
Why are there two Kenseis?
Two Kenseis.
Boy.
There are two berserkers as well,
Oh, man.
but yeah, Kensei, something's going on with the
Yeah, I don't
Kensei.
support this.
Maybe we'll speak about it. Anyway,
Great. And rolling along with that, we do have new content of the week.
yes, we do.
Mythic outfits for all heroes. They're 15,000 steel. And we've got a video. When we come back from the video, Roman will be here, and we're going to show you a ton of the new Season 5 stuff. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
I think the Viking got the best one, and
It's
that's
so
the revenge
pretty.
from the mascot feet for like on the mythic one. Anyway,
It's really nice.
it's Viking time right now, apparently.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, we're back, but I was hoping Max would go straight into the next video. So we have a video for you to check out.
No, but it's cool. We commented.
Yeah,
the
sure,
mythic
let's
outfits.
comment.
You know, it's chill. We're having a good time. No?
I'm having a great day. You having a good time?
We're not on a rush, so it's okay.
So yes, let's dive into the Season 5 Age of Wolves reveal right now.
It's been 1 year since Forerunner was released. All the factions, they all have 6 different heroes. It's equal strength everywhere. It's time for the Wolves to rise on top. We decided to call Season 5 Age of Wolves because with a 1-year anniversary, we go back to Apollyon. And Apollyon dreamed about this world where wolves will dominate and not the sheeps. There will be new content in Season 5. New gear, new emotes, new execution, balancing, major updates to some heroes, and one feature that everybody's been waiting for, the release of the dedicated servers.
We dedicated a whole part of the team to only work on that. Can we really change the whole architecture of the game while we improve it and run it at the same time? That's why it took so much time, basically, because of the amount of work that is needed behind it.
First, for player, it's only improvement. In terms of flag, feeling of latency, you don't get any more resynchronization. When the player is leaving, you don't get host migration message. You really get the best experience that Forerunner has to offer. With the new season, some characters of our roster can say Conqueror, Berserker. We did some major changes. We've added new connections, new mix-ups to really improve their playstyle, but also improve their effectiveness on the battlefield. We are looking also at other characters, maybe more in the future.
Regarding the progression and the gear in Season 5, we don't want to add an extra rarity as we did previously. So we've added a new step that is called gear refinement. That's adding an extra edge on the stats, but really the purpose is to have the best gear in the game and to showcase it to everybody else. People want to have more choice regarding their progression. So now you can spend your salvage to get an XP boost that will boost the hero you're playing as well everybody else that is playing with you.
We want to revamp the experience of the onboarding, so we created trials, which are a bit more narratively driven experiences where you learn all the basics of the art of combat. We expect new players to go with the apprentice and then have a bit of playtime in the game, and then come back for the war trials to go more in depth into the art of combat. Once you've mastered these basics, you can now go in the arena. And what's cool is that as you play online, you will fight against other players doing specific moves, using specific heroes, and when you feel like you're stuck or you don't quite know how to deal with these situations, now you can create the same setup in the arena, practice, and get better.
So now we will allow the player to equip a different effects on each of the executions, on different emotes, etc. On Season 5, we want to have Tribute mode as the ranked mode in 4v4 and not Dominion. For Faction War, we're adding what we call the strategic points. When you own a territory that has a strategic point, you will get a bonus. More XP when you play matches, for example, more loot or more war assets.
The first thing I think we need to say to our community is thank you guys. You have been amazing. We had ups, we had downs, but the community was there with us throughout that year.
Thank you all for your passion and commitment.
Thank you.
I love the cheesy music, right?
Wipe a
For
tear.
me, it's Top Chef music. It's like,
So hopeful.
yeah.
It's a hopeful season, you guys.
Why not?
It's a hopeful season.
Yeah, it's our anniversary.
Whew, it is. It's 1 year pretty much since the game came out. So yes, that's a lot of stuff. And we're gonna dive into
Some
a bunch of
those.
it
Yeah.
right now. And first off, Season 5 begins on February 15. So mark your calendars. February 15.
So 1 year
And
and,
a-
one,
And 1
day,
day.
after
Exactly.
we shipped.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Why Age of Wolves?
Why Age of Wolves? So actually, we have a lot to say about that, but just not today. We've got some more surprises
Why is
that'll be
Apollyon
coming.
here?
Yes,
I don't get
I don't
it.
know what the deal with Apollyon is. We're not talking about that on this show. I'm sorry. I'm always disappointing
Please,
Roman.
you're trying to get people
But
hyped
yes,
for the next
we will
Warriors
definitely
Day.
be letting you know what the background there is. But yes, if you play the campaign, you know she talks about sheep and wolves. What is the Age of Wolves? Time will tell.
So much mystery.
Similarly,
Somebody's buying time.
Similarly, time will tell. We're going to give you your update on when the dedicated servers are coming, when we lock it down for sure. It's going to be soon, which is nice. But the exact date we'll give you when we have it. So stay tuned to future streams that we're doing for that information. But we're all very excited about that.
That's to know we cross our legs.
Yeah, I don't know. I
That's a
don't.
new-
I can't just sit still. I think there's something wrong with me. So hey, I'm gonna make you talk now, and we have a PowerPoint. If we want to cut over to that PowerPoint, Max.
Oh yeah.
Look at that.
This is gonna guide us through all the stuff we're talking about today. That is so cool, by the way. That image, the black and gold, they're all clumped together. So cool.
Damian
Let's
is
stay
mixed
here
up.
for,
Yeah,
with his
Damian's
keyboard.
using the wrong keyboard.
Season 5.
Yes.
Age of Wolves.
So the first thing
So-
you saw in the video.
This is all the things we want
Okay,
to
take it away.
talk about today.
We're just gonna sleep.
Sorry. So these are all the things we'll talk about today. Some of those more high level, and we'll
Yeah.
go in more details in the upcoming weeks. And that's the case of the major hero updates. And I will let Roman speak about that. But first two, Kensei Conqueror.
So for Kensei and Conqueror, we did some pretty big changes.
Yep.
We changed some moves of those characters. We've added new connections, new effect. Basically, we've enlarged their kit of ability.
Yeah.
And that's coming with new animation. So I think no Kensei might actually become more viable.
Oh yes.
I don't know. No, Damien won't have anymore any excuse.
Damian's gonna be a pain in the ass, I think.
I tell you, it's not getting better, but no, he doesn't have the excuse. Conqueror is getting really good.
Yeah.
I'm back with that character now, so yeah,
Yes.
some pretty good stuff. But
I think people got a
that's
little.
not-
They got a little glimpse of it in that video too.
yeah,
Some
but
of their moves.
that's not all, because
No.
we also have some changes on the Berserker, the Nobushi, and the Highlander. So we did a huge balance pass on those characters, and I think Berserker now, its Infinite Chain is getting really useful, really cool. Highlander got a major boost, and we'll see how it behaves. And we changed some elements in the Nobushi playstyle to make her a little bit less a one-trick pony.
So our friend
Which is a
Alernikin,
surprise.
maybe
Which is a
Alernikin will be
surprise.
less dominant now, our
Yeah.
Nobushi player. But it's a good change for sure. I've had the privilege, so we've worked up, the fight team has written a really detailed series of blog posts about each of those big changes. So the Conqueror, the Kensei, and the Berserker, as well as about the parry change, which we told you is coming. So they have blog posts on those topics that we'll be putting out soon. We'll do them probably in a couple weeks, but before they're released to you to actually play, we'll give you the full design intent of why they made the changes they made and all that, and detail all the changes.
So we'll discuss the fight update in an upcoming while.
Yes.
Oh, for sure. Yes, yes. But I'm excited about that. We haven't done a lot of
Yes.
blogs of design things, so that'll be cool.
And that's just the first step,
Yeah, exactly.
because more will come. And yes, the goal is to bring all the original characters that might have some holes in their kit, like which was the case for the Kensei or the Conqueror, bring them on par with the type of diversity in playstyle we've reached with our newest characters.
Yeah.
Cool. So yes, come back next week for your first glimpse at a couple of those changes. Next, Damien, what's lead us through?
XP boost. I think this is one of the favorite feature of Bio.
I love it.
It's going to be a favorite feature of a lot of people because
So what is XP boost? Why do we do that? In fact, it's our answer to the salvage use in the end game. So you know when you've reached the end of the progression of your gear on your hero, and then you have a huge amount of salvage and you don't know what to do with it, this is the answer. You can spend XP boost, spend salvage to get XP boost.
finally, I should have brought like
We will go into details
confetti
of how
poppers.
It works. Yeah. And it's also an answer to people requesting us to give more tools to them to control their progression better. So today, to control your progression, yes, you have the champion status. Yes, you have the orders, so which order you do with which hero and things like that. We wanted to give another tool, which is the XP boost, which is a very good way to go from one hero to the other. So to use all the salvage you got from one hero and use it on one of your newest hero to make him progress faster. So how does it work? It's pretty simple. You unlock it only with salvage, so no steal usage here. It's only with salvage that you unlock your XP boost. It's match-based, so at the start of in the lobby, basically, you unlock an XP boost, then you can use it for that match. It's a flat fee and a flat reward, and Bio will talk about that when she shows it. It gives as well a boost on all your teammates, which is pretty cool, like the champion status. Now, champion status, it's on everybody on the match. Here, it's only on your teammates.
Only the
so
teammates.
there is a difference with the champion status. And it stacks. It doesn't stack completely, but if you have another teammate that has it, you also get that aura boost. And we did something new, a system, because we had a design challenge, in fact, with the XP boost, where we have a huge gap between people who play since day one and have millions of salvage and don't know what to do with it, and people who come to the game and don't have a lot of salvage because they use it to craft. And it was really hard for us to do a good pricing, so we came up with this idea of having the price increase each time you unlock a boost. So you get a boost, then the next time you get a boost, it will be more expensive.
So 500k the first match, 1 million.
So it's 500 salvage the first match, and then it goes up. until to a point where it never goes up anymore.
For the fifth activation.
The fifth activation, exactly. And we reset the price every day. So every day we go back to the lower price. So this helps many things. It helps to manage people who have a huge amount of salvage to not basically cheese the XP boost, to have a bigger spend on that, and also give the opportunity to people who don't have much salvage but finish one of their hero that can still be able to do one boost every day, for example, at a normal play when you reach rep 7, something like that.
If you have less, just come more often.
Exactly. So it's open to everyone, and then it's only the very high owner of salvage that he can do it a lot of times per day. We can show it in game, maybe?
We can.
Yes, I can.
Yes.
I can show you. I have a controller.
Swap over to the game. Thanks, Max.
So if you go in any multiplayer games that generate XP, so it's up to you. Here we're going to look at a duel against AI, and when
No matchmaking. Yeah.
Well,
duel
I'm in a
against
duel
AI.
against
Sorry.
AI.
We're also on a build that nobody has but us, so we can't matchmake.
So here you can see on the top right the new widget of Get the XP Boost. On Xbox is the right RB.
The right bumper. Yeah.
Right button, bumper, I don't know which one it is. And you can see here my activation. It tells me what I'm going to get, which is 250 XP. So it's a flat amount. It's not percentage. And my teammate, which is no one in that specific case, would get 50. You can see here the price is 1,000 because we tested it earlier. So we already.
So the price already increased.
It already increased. So I can just get it, and I'm going to get my XP boost.
And also one of the things is that we might have seen is that next to the salvage amount, there was another icon with a 0 on it. So those are the XP boost tickets. So it means that we can also give as rewards XP boost to players.
What? You didn't tell me.
So you don't have to spend still. If you have tickets, a bit like the crates, you know, when you have crates, you don't have to spend your salvage, your steal. Here it's a bit the same system.
Yeah, sometimes we're going to give those a compensation and such. So you can change your character. It's not bound to a character. It's not bound to a hero. You can change your hero. You can even quit the match and come back. You can see my XP boost is still there. So we won't steal your XP boost from you. And once you play the match, you're just going to get your extra XP. I'm not going to play a whole duel here.
And here we can see it's already
it's already activated. So you kept your salvage, you kept your XP boost, even though you quit the game, or if the game disconnects, you also keep it, which is really important for the next game. It's going to be automatically activated, so you cannot cheese it either. If you, oh no, I'm going to lose the game, I'm leaving, I'm going to get refunded, no. So it will be automatically activated, so there's no reason to do it.
So if you disconnect, it's not consumed. If you quit, it's consumed. It's part of the quit penalty.
Yes, yes. So this is the new feature of the XP Boost. I hope people will like it. I'm really excited about that new thing. It's very, very good to use your main to boost your secondary, third, or fourth, fifth, whatever, how you play. But using a main character that's really high level to generate salvage with that legendary gear, that's worth way much salvage for the lower level characters, and it's gonna stack with everything. So the XP fest that we're doing, the champion status, and the strategic points.
So the champion status boosts the XP boost.
Absolutely, because the XP boost is basically part of your match XP. So it's gonna be multiplied like everything else. So as soon as there's an XP fest, I really recommend using the XP boost.
That's what I call a great design. Okay, cool.
Someone was asking if there's a cap on the number of tickets.
There isn't any cap, but with the price increase, it acts a bit like a
natural cap.
Yeah, but there is no cap. You can boost all your matches during one day if you want. If you have the amount of salvage that you need to do.
It's gonna be an expensive day.
An expensive day in salvage, yeah. So that's one thing that is really cool. Then there is another thing, which is. Have we switched to, to the refined gear? What's that? It's our answer to continue the gear progression, basically, to further the gear progression. We thought making it mandatory, that's really key. So, you know, we've added rarities during year one, and it's not something we want to continue to do because then it makes the game really hard to get to those rarities for newcomers or if you want to switch to a new hero. So, one of the ideas we had is to say, hey, let's come up with a new design. And that new design, you need to remove, thank you, it's the refined gear. So, how does it work? Now you will get new items, so we'll push new legendary items as we do on each season, so new visuals, etc. And also some of those will be refinable, so like they will have an extra thing you can do on it. Those are the refined legendary armor and weapons. And what you can do on those is that you can refine them, so you have an extra step of crafting. That will bring you a really like a small edge on your stats, but it's really for the reason to be full maxed gear. Now you have an extra step, which is the refined gear. So this is what it is. Maybe Bio can show it as well in game.
Absolutely. So whenever you choose a hero that has the capability of looting refined gear, that starts at reputation 9, then you can go and your weapon, for example, here blades. And you can see here I have one with a little diamond on it. That means it has the potential of being refined. So it's a very rare drop. It's not as common as just legendary. So I can craft it like normally here. I'm crafting my legendary gear. Luckily, I have tons of salvage. This is good.
You haven't spent it on XP boost.
Yet. It's gonna come soon. People will be torn in what to do with their salvage now.
So now it's maxed.
Yes.
But you can refine it.
Exactly. So like this, it would be the max level of my blade normally. But now I can go and refine the blade. And you can see here it boosts just a little bit some of my bonuses. Every bundle of stat has different ways to behave with the refine, and it's different from the normal bonuses I would get. So for example, we don't upgrade the biggest bonus, but we lower the penalties or we increases the smaller bonuses in the different bundles. And now you can see I have that little golden diamond on top of my blade.
Ooh.
Ooh, indeed. So I can also see it here. I have my little, well, I have to equip it before. So I can see that I have my little diamond. So if I want to have the diamond on my stat, my total stat, I have to upgrade everything. Mm-hmm. So if you want to show off and be super refined, well, you have to
do that
refine everything.
Each part.
Got it.
Yep.
Cool.
Really cool.
Hell yeah.
But
that's not all.
That's not all. Let's move on. New reputation level cap. We're moving from rep 40 to rep 50, which will be again another very cool use of the XP boost to get there. Some of the example of some of the rewards you will get. You have one reward, one cosmetic, one reputation outfit per reputation level from 40 to 50.
Some have very cool symbols.
Yeah.
In those new ones.
Yeah, some are really, really, really cool.
Yeah.
Faction war updates.
Oh yeah.
That's the baby.
You
of,
like that?
I'm
one,
really excited.
Of Bio. So as she was hinting it.
This is so sad. I don't have kids. I have features.
I'm happy about that personally. Strategic territories. So what's that? It's pretty simple. It's something we thought about a long time ago, but we had to work a lot.
It was a big one.
A big one, big feature. Basically, now on some territories, you will have props on it, and we'll show it, that will give you bonus to the players of that faction that controls that territory. So, some examples. And Bio will go into more details, but the mill is giving you a 5% XP boost, a forge is giving you a 7% loot boost, and the castle is giving you a 10% boost on the troops you can deploy in that territory.
So that's faction-wide.
That's faction-wide. So if the Vikings own 3 meals, it means they have 15% XP boost.
For all the Vikings.
For all the Viking players.
As long as they own the mills.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now there is, you want your faction to win, but you want also to have those because you want to get more XP or you want to get more loot, etc. So how does it work? Each faction controls an even number at the start of a campaign. So it's really well balanced at the start of a campaign. And then you will have the faction fighting for it. Conquering an enemy strategic territory will transfer the bonus from that faction to the new territory owner faction. And if we take the example of the XP, in Season 4, winning a match of Dominion were giving you 500 XP. Now it's Season 5, when at default, so when you own 2 XP, 2 meals, 2 strategic points that gave you XP, you will own 506 XP. But if you conquer one of the meal of the opposing faction, you might win, for example, 529 XP. And it's like that, and like that. Maybe Bio can show it in game as well.
She can.
I may. So you have your faction war map here, and you see that there's new buildings on it. If I go in the war map, I can see them better with the new visuals we introduced last season. And then I can go and see that I have a mill. I'm in Viking right now, obviously. So I can see I'm going to have a 5% boost on my XP every matches as long as we own that mill. When you start, we have 2. So I have 2 mills. I have a forge. Back then, I can not reach with my cursor, but I have a forge and a castle as all on here. So if I go on this front, I can even try to steal the castle from the samurais by placing my war banner on it. And if I get the castle and then I conquer it for next battle, from now on I'm gonna own it. And next battle. No, you're messing with me. This is not cool. So next battle, then you're gonna have the bonuses from the castle, which is a defensive bonus. So you can see that they're all evenly spread out on the map. There's no better placement for a different faction. They're all in the same type of territories. But once you start the faction war and you start getting those different things, so here the Vikings would get a 3rd mill. That would be a big deal because all the Vikings would have 5% more XP on every match. But that means the samurai would have less XP on every matches. Ooh. So this is really different. It changes the game. I think it's gonna make people get
fight for those
involved and a bit salty sometimes.
And those work with champion status and things like that.
Oh yeah, this is all modular where everything else. This XP that we're multiplying is for everything, and same with the loot. If we have a loot fest, it also multiplies.
Cool, great. So psyched for that.
I love it.
Yeah. The more that our faction war becomes like a tabletop game, the happier I am. That's awesome. That has to be all.
It's not. It's not.
What?
Ranking updates. This will be pretty fast, but we're resetting the ranking as we do on each season for 1v1 and 4v4. So that's normal. No news here. There will be new tournament rewards in Season 5. And what about the Season 4 and 3 rewards, Bio, on Season 5?
The Season 4, and I don't remember.
They go away.
I don't remember.
They go away.
They go away.
They go away, yeah. It's finally, yes, finally they're going away.
Yes, as we said last season, the intent is for them to go away. We didn't do it in Season 4 because we didn't communicate that. But we communicated this for the last 3 months now. If you haven't gotten your ranking rewards in Season 4, you've got a couple more weeks.
Yep.
And then they're going away. That's the intent of the system. So grab them now. Same with the Season 3 ones that are still in there.
And the last thing on the ranking update is that the 4v4 rank for this season is moving from Dominion to Tribute.
Okay.
Why do we do that?
Why do you do that?
Why do we do that?
Why?
It's first from player request. They said, hey, we think Tribute has good potential in competitive play with organized teams. There is a lot of different tactics and a way of playing, and it's something we'd like to see. So to give the opportunity for the player to play more seriously Tribute. And it's also a way for us to change a bit the odds between seasons and maybe give an opportunity to players that might be not as good at Dominion but maybe better at Tribute to be able to shine in ranked Tribute. So that's for the ranking updates.
Cool.
And that's not all.
Still not all.
Multiple effect equipping. I will say that's my baby. I love that one. As the team, we said, hey, what we did for equipping multiple execution is a pretty cool idea. Why not doing that with the effects?
Right.
So here the idea is we want to give more choices of customization to the players regarding the effects. And how do we do that? Is that now, during Season 5, at the start of it, you will be able to equip a different effect on each execution and on each emote slot on the same match. So that's really cool. So you don't have to have your mask outfit on all your 4 executions now. You can have 2 mask outfits, the 2 different ones, and etc.
Bio and I sat down before
really
the
cool.
show to make sure we had the right number. So
And
there's nine different effects you can
nine
have
different effects
on a
you can
single
equip
character.
on a match on the same character on the same loadout. So here an example that we stole from the deep dive video is that you can see that the same character is having 2 different effects on the 2 different executions.
Super
Do we
cool.
show that in game or not?
Of course.
Of course.
I'm like the Wheel of Fortune
Marvelous.
lady that changes the letters. Ding, ding, ding. If I go on my hero, everybody knows where to change your effect. This is one of my favorite features. I love the effects. And so idle, obviously, you have only one. You cannot be idler. But when I have my executions now, this is the change. So the execution I equipped on Y, I can say I'm gonna put Firefly on it. But if I go with the execution I equipped on X or old Y, I can put a different effects. Same with all of them.
So cool.
Same with free roam. Now I have my press on old Y and I can select which I want where. Obviously I would like all the masks, but another thing. And same with combat. So you can now really, really make it different and make it the execution or the emote fit with the effects you're gonna use.
Lets people
So
get a
they're
lot more use out of the
perfect
effects that
synergy.
they've bought, which is really cool.
Yeah, yeah, and you can have more, or put rainbow everywhere. It's up
Yes.
to you.
Sure. That's fair.
There's always something we can do.
Yeah, well, you can always put the rainbow.
And that's still not all.
Is that all?
No.
I can't remember. That's not all. Maybe that one you can explain, Bio.
Oh, you're giving me the hammer now.
The power,
The hammer.
the power to explain that.
Okay, so since the beginning we intended to do this, but now we're doing it. In event orders, you need to participate to get the reward. Not just exist, not just collect it.
Not just connect one
Just
week after.
Not just connect, not just play any type of matches. You need to participate in the order to get
The reward.
the reward. So if it's an execution community order, for example, then you need to do an execution. So it's a big change. People that just connect and don't do anything will now not be able to get the reward. But the reason
to
was
me, this is how a community order should be. You should actually participate.
We wanted to reward people that really engage in those orders. They engage in the community, they care, and they participated. And this is why we always wanted to design the feature to make sure that people that really are engaged get the reward. But now we're really doing it. So you're all aware now. You need to participate in the event order to get the reward. We don't have one this week, but starting next week, starting season 5, it will be the behavior. So the one next week is not affected. Starting season 5, this is the behavior of the event orders.
Speaking of community participation, it's always a good thing to participate in the Warriors Den Because you never know when something that you're not
Slip through.
not supposed to know about slips through.
Let's say it's a tease.
Yeah, that's how
They
we
only
keep
saw it
engagement on the
one
stream.
character.
Like
Yeah.
people watch just in case we
might
screw up.
have small surprises like that. Let's
Hey.
say it was intended.
It's all part of a greater plan.
is clearly happy.
Yeah.
Guys, everything's fine.
Is
There's
that
one
all?
more thing.
It's not.
Which-
Can we switch back, Max? No, we can't.
Max.
We lost Max.
Stuck there.
Yay!
Hey,
So,
yes.
our friend Edgar will come and present you the change we've done on Duel,
Citadel.
Gate, and Tribute to our rune.
Come on. Yeah, come on up.
Will you
Sorry,
show, you will
sorry.
show that in game, right?
No.
No?
We have
Okay.
videos
We have
for it.
videos.
So
we have
video.
videos.
I was just
I'm
expecting
so
a nice
prepared.
visual
Okay.
transition to this.
So, see, I
Ed,
did
welcome
nice
back.
Screenshots.
Hey, everybody.
If you've watched these shows before, Ed has been on quite a number of times now. He's one of our level designers and has been doing a lot of work in updating our older maps over the last few seasons at this point. Changing spawn locations, changing different elements.
Making them much better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the tribute Tower Rune is amazing. I don't want to say more. It's just amazing. I love that version.
Yeah,
I mean, so it's always fun to be back because I always enjoy working on these changes. It's a different pace out of working on the particular DLC map that I'm working on at the time. So I get to, just change my pace and have a little fun and making things better for the community. So, when we launched Tribute on this last season, we retrofitted all the maps to play well in Tribute and everything, but Tower Ruin was feeling a little off for us. Even, the more we played it, we're like, well, okay, let's release this now, and so the community can play it. But we were kind of aware that we had to look into it just a little bit more. So, and we also kind of realized it was just slightly unbalanced as well. So, I opened it up and pretty much looked at it from scratch again, just to see what we can do. So if you want, we can show the video of
Yes.
these pretty cool changes, actually.
I'm a big fan. Max, let's check it out.
So one thing in particular that we found was that the tower was not being used in that game mode very well because, it's kind of sitting there in the middle of the map and it didn't really function well with the placement of the shrines and the offerings that we had. So the first change we did was put an offering in every floor of the tower. So at match start, everyone rushes the tower, gets on a different floor, and you have your fights. And yes, the timings are very well balanced, so you gotta find that optimal route. And then what I did was I added zip lines to get out of the tower, so you have a much more fast-paced Tribute
I love it.
game. So compared even to our other maps, because also when you respawn, you'll respawn in the tower. So sometimes, depending on where you respawn, you can go straight to the enemy shrines or try and defend your own. But sometimes your fastest route is to actually go upstairs and take that zip line. And every zip line, there's 3 of them. So one will take you directly into the enemy territory shrine, and the other one will take you into your own base. And there's a neutral one that you can kind of decide where you want to go from there. So it really quickens the pace of the match. There's a lot of back and forth going on. So you can't, to have a 3 offering win in this is actually kind of hard because every single time you think, okay, we got them, it's like, oh no, someone just
Really
zip-lined
hectic.
in.
That's so cool, when you camp, you turtle the 3-0 and you see 3 guys coming out on the zip lines, jumping on your camp, trying to this is really, really cool.
I like it too. It's sort of like it's got like the Bruce Lee game of death progression too.
Oh, yeah, right,
using the
yeah.
tower. That's so cool.
Exactly. So we incorporated the tower as the central
Piece of the map.
piece of the map instead of trying to work around it. And we also, moved the shrines a little further from each other, so it's just it takes more space in the map, and it's a little bit harder to defend your own.
It's cool. It's almost like a game
own
mode
base.
variation in itself.
Yeah. And even our producer said he liked how it felt a little more arcadey.
Yeah.
So as opposed to the other maps. So.
Cool. I'll be interested to see what people think of that.
Yeah, and especially in ranked tribute that's coming.
Yeah,
So I'd
yeah.
like to see how this changes people's strategies if they got used to the old map.
Cool.
So, yeah.
And that's not all.
Yeah, that's not all. And lastly, I I love duels. So I reworked one of the last standing ledge maps in the game. And yeah, we can show the video for that one. So this actually came as a request from one of the players we had during our workshops. And so when that happened, Roman came to see me and asked me how quick can we get this in. And it wasn't that much of a change. It was more of a creative choice by leaving it in there. As I said, it was a last standing ledge map in there. And I felt it wasn't the worst case scenario compared to the others that we had. But hey, it's the best way to get a change in the game, be invited over and request a change yourself. So yeah, it's in here, and yeah, this I think this works even better now.
And that just keyed me to remind myself to say that during the deep dive video, they talk quite a bit about the training modes and the arena stuff. So we're not talking about that today, but yes, you saw that in the video. There's some cool arena-style maps in there. So we'll have more to say about that in the coming weeks. I know that that's a big thing that people have wanted for a long time. So that sort of plays into the work you've been doing with the existing maps to make them less ledgy and dangerous.
Yeah, yeah. And I think we have a pretty good, we're in a good spot now.
And there's Dobini in one of them.
What?
You shouldn't say that.
Dobini!
They all saw it, it was in the trailer.
Yeah, but you were only seeing one of the wing and his behavior that is so Dobini yelling at people. Anyway.
It's your favorite character, right? If he was a Kensei, you would main Dominic.
I want to throw out a challenge to our community, though. Find the Easter eggs in the last 2 DLC maps that we shipped, because I've been on Reddit and I haven't seen a single post about it. So Market Town and Gauntlet, there's an Easter egg in each of those.
All right, send them my way. Maybe we'll give you a reward if you find them. I can do that, right?
You have that power.
Now that you said it, I think you should.
So very cool. Now that is actually everything that we wanted to talk about today. But today, there's still more to come in the coming weeks. But last thing I wanted to say, on February 8th, 2 weeks from today, Livestream day, as everyone knows, every Thursday, instead of just doing a regular Warriors Day, we're going to do something a lot bigger. People who've been around for a while know we do kind of these seasonal kickoff streams.
Yeah.
We are doing that on February 8th. Mark your calendars. There it is right there. It's going to start at 2 p.m. Eastern, not at noon like we usually do. And we're going to talk more about that next week because we have a lot of fun stuff planned for that to really kind of thank the community a lot. And a lot of the focus is on the community, which I'm psyched about for that show. But that'll be a nice big one too. So next week we will be back and we'll give you your first look at a couple of those updated heroes.
Maybe do some Q&A.
If you want to grab any of the questions you see up there, feel free.
There was one for Bio.
There was one for Bio.
But do you
We can bring her back.
Come here and sit next to you.
Answer the first one.
Let's widen the shot, please, for 5 people.
What
is the point of off-season?
Yeah, what's the point of off-season? Good question.
That's a good question.
Well, it's a good time for you if you want to change faction, if you have no honor.
I do that.
You do that?
Because
Can I sit over there instead?
This game gave me some kind of existential crisis because my whole life I'm a samurai.
Sure. Your whole life you've been a samurai?
No, but like Vandenberg.
I live by the Bushido every day.
But like Vandenberg was right, it's like you know which one you are.
Yes.
You don't have to ask yourself.
Sure.
So my whole life I've been a samurai, but when I got on this project, at the time we only had the Warden and the Orochi. And so I wanted to be the guy who could beat the Orochi with a Warden, like better than a samurai, So, and I stuck to it and I started to see myself as in the Knights class.
Oh, wow.
And only last season I'm like, let me try Samurai. And it didn't go very well. So probably because of me. I don't know. Yeah, it's probably because of me.
Does that mean our game made you question who you thought you were as a person?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
heavy.
deep.
That's heavy.
That's deep. So basically that's it. It allows us to look at the data to make sure everything is going to be fine for the next season. If we have to do some tweaks, this is where we do it on the formula and everything like that. So it's both for you players to have a downtime
And
to
for us
try
as a
crazy
beta.
things also because the war assets don't really matter as much. So if you want to play different heroes, not care about troops you're going to create and deploy, it's also the time to do that. So it's really for the community to have a breather to do crazy stuff and try your thing and maybe change faction, and for us to also tweak our things.
Yeah. That's a very good answer. I'm happy.
That's why you called her up here to do it.
Got her back on the couch. Fadi 118 asks us.
117.
17, yeah.
A totally different guy. 118 is a totally different user.
Any news about how we can apply the look of Frostwind weapons to higher tiers, and whether change look will become possible cross tier? And I think this question is related to Roby HD's question, which is question for Damien. Is the system for saving, changing the appearance of armor and weapon you teased a while ago still happening? So to both questions, we'll say yes, it's happening. Not now, not anytime soon, to be honest. So most probably not in season 5. But yeah, we're still working on it.
Cool.
And this one was answered, in fact, by Roman. Mati, you don't follow the show at all. Any other question? You have 3 seconds.
Of awkward silence.
Yeah.
Of the 5 of us on the couch, looking at the screen.
I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap us up because we all need lunch.
Oh yeah, we need.
So
I'd like to have feedback on the
everything.
PowerPoint.
On everything.
On the PowerPoint, the quality of the animations and the transition.
This would help it make a way better game.
I'm not a big fan.
Feedback.
I'm not a big fan of how you did the box around the text. And
so you can yell at Mike about that, but I won't say who did that.
Hey, you know what? I didn't know we were streaming on Mixer today, but shout out to all of our Mixer viewers. We're going to start streaming on Mixer regularly because we can, and we know that some of you are out there. Much smaller proportion than on Twitch.
From Xbox,
but
maybe?
yes, from Xbox. So shout out. I don't know if my son is still watching, but he's 4. He asked me to give a peace sign for him today, and I just remembered that. So hi, Desmond. And also a shout out to Death the Conqueror. I saw him in the chat. Fun story. I'm a suburban dad, as I just said. I like to shop at Costco. Almost every week, it's the highlight of my week. I was at Costco last week looking for some pita bread. Couldn't find it because I'm an idiot, because it's in the same place every week. So I grabbed a guy. I was like, can you help me find the pita bread? And he's like, I watch the Warriors Den. What? Cool. So that's Death the Conqueror. Shout out to the... which Costco? I also go to different Costco's to mix it up.
So it helps you find your
You cannot have too much of a routine.
No,
when
exactly. He brought me directly the pita bread. I'm still eating it because Costco gives you like 500 pounds of pita bread. So shout out to Death the Conqueror. Pita bread for everyone next to me.
Did he help you in the end?
He absolutely did. He absolutely did. So
you help him keeping in touch with Warner, and he helps you keeping in touch with
If you guys don't shop at Costco, you need to start. It is amazing deals.
I never went to a Costco
Let's do a
in
trip.
my entire life.
As a member, I can take you. You have to be a member.
You can take us?
Yeah. We'll do a
We can
field
all
trip.
shop with you?
Get money for that advertising? Or
They should. Actually, yeah. If you could ask about the
Lamest
referral
sponsor
program.
ever.
It's amazing. My friends and I have talked about creating a Costco podcast. We might do that one of these days, so I'll let you know.
I'm sure you will have a huge audience.
They have a lot of customers.
Yeah.
And they treat their employees right. That's why I like Costco. They give them benefits, they pay them well.
Okay, then.
And now it's full advertising.
I'm convinced.
Let's go then. You driving?
Anyway, I don't think I will go anywhere.
Yeah. Too French.
I'm like that.
Too French. He's got to get like the daily market. He's got to get his bread. Yeah, whatever. I like to get weeks and weeks of food and hoard it.
Garden, take my... Anyway.
Yeah, in the middle of the winter, it's great tomatoes.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
And he likes to pay a lot for
Frozen
tomatoes.
Quick pro tip. Best deal at Costco is it's the rotisserie chicken. It's the rotisserie chicken.
Don't
$7. It'll feed you for a week.
Max?
Thank you, everybody. We'll be back next week with more Season 5 stuff. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I'll see you at Costco.